welcome back, guys. So today we are doing a book review on the Andromeda Evolution by Michael Crichton. It's actually two authors. Michael Crichton actually passed away in 2008, and as I found out recently, was the author of Jurassic Park, amongst some other books. The man who basically carried the torch from the Andromeda Strain, which is the first book part of this one. His name is Daniel H. Wilson. He is out of Portland, Oregon. So he's from Portland, Oregon. And so basically, Daniel ended up talking to Michael's wife and some other people in order to write this book. Now, I'll read a little bit from the inside leaf. It says, "The evolution is coming. In 1967, an extraterrestrial microbe came crashing down to Earth and nearly ended the human race. Accidental exposure to the particle, designated the Andromeda Strain, killed every resident of the town in Piedmont, Arizona, save for an elderly man and an infant boy." So it does go on to talk about Project Wildfire and a lot of other things that you should already know if you had read the first book in the series. I say series, but as far as I know, it's just the two books. I don't know. The way this one ends, maybe there's a third one. Maybe Daniel will end up writing another one. But I didn't know that there was a first one until I had already purchased this book. So, in the beginning, I was immediately drawn to this because it was a sci-fi book. However, not having read the first one made it a little bit difficult to get into it in the beginning, which wasn't that big of a deal for me. I've read books before without reading the first one, and as long as it's written well, you can kind of pick up on those missing pieces that you weren't aware of. The character development was great. The story, it's a sci-fi through and through. It's about this, as I read, a strain, a microbe from outer space, and in this one it basically continues on. So I guess in the first one they had the first incident in 1967, and this one happened sometime later, and basically it's the same thing all over again, except this one takes place on Earth and in space. So there's a space station and astronauts, and it's a really, really good story. At the beginning, I was a little bit lost just because of the setting. I felt it was a little bit slow or misplaced. It seemed a little weird to me at first when I started reading it. So at first I was thinking, okay, this is a little dry, it's a little slow. And then as you start to get into the story and start understanding the characters a little bit more, and that would most likely be because I didn't read the first book. So once I kind of got all the pieces together, I was instantly, transported into the story, drawn right in. The story was great. My pet peeve of the word said for words. "Oh, James," said Vidala. Again, it's my pet peeve. It was present in this book. It didn't take away from the book. The book is really well written. I don't remember how much I paid for this one, but on the back here it says $25 Canadian. All in all, I don't want to give too much away from this, but it's a great sci-fi book if you love scientific stuff, space related stuff, you know, things from outer space trying to kill us, that type of thing. Great story, great characters. I would definitely recommend reading the first book and then reading this one, but not even having read the first one, I think this was very well written. There was a lot of different elements, a lot of different scenes, a different way of writing, and it was still easy enough to follow, even though it was very different for me compared to most of the books I've read previously. So, all in all, great story. The ending is it leaves it open to potentially a third book. But like I said, Michael Crichton wrote the original book. Daniel H. Wilson wrote the second one because Michael passed away. Um, and I don't know if they were working on it together before he passed away necessarily, but it just says in the back of the book that um, he passed away in 2008. So I don't have enough information to really be certain of what happened there, but it does mention them both as the authors of the book. And again, Michael Crichton was the author of Jurassic Park and many other books, so that was pretty awesome. I got pretty excited knowing that, this was from an author who had also had his book adapted to a movie. So that adaptation, knowledge of the adaptation was pretty nice. So yeah, overall, again, recommend reading the first one before you get to this one. But all in all, great book. I definitely recommend it. It's really well written. A little slow in the beginning, but that's just because I didn't read the first one. If I had read the first one a little bit, it would have been a little bit easier to get into this one in the very beginning. But once I got past that kind of uncertainty of knowing where the story originally came from, great book. Definitely recommend it, especially for someone who loves sci-fi. I will be keeping this on my shelf, and yeah, great book. Definitely recommend it. And if you guys have read this book, let me know what your thoughts are on it. And if you plan on reading it and you do read it, feel free to come back, like, comment, subscribe if you like to as well. Subscribing is great because you guys will be updated on the next book that I review. And I'm going to have everything placed in a playlist, so it's going to be very easy for you guys to find exactly what you want. This book review series, anything to do with my writing, is all going to be in a specific playlist, so it's not going to be disorganized or confusing of where to find things. It's going to be very simple for you guys. So if you've read it, let me know what you think of it. If you're going to read it, come back, let me know how it was, and look forward to reviewing the next one. Take care.